When Rachel booked the Airbnb, it felt like a small miracle. She'd been searching for somewhere peaceful, a quiet place to finish her graphic design project after a rough breakup and too many sleepless nights in the city. The photos looked perfect. A cozy 2-floor countryside home with wooden floors, ivy climbing up its sides and warm amber lights glowing through the windows. The listing description read, "Charming heritage home. Host resides upstairs but gives guests full privacy. No shared amenities." Rachel didn't think much about it. The host, a man named Peter, had 5-star reviews. Every review said the same thing. Beautiful, peaceful stay. Never met the host, but he checked in often. That last part comforted her. She wanted peace, not isolation. When she arrived, the house looked even prettier in person. Rustic wood panels, an old porch swing, lavender growing near the steps. Peter had left the keys in a small lockbox by the door. She texted him, "Rachel, just checked in, thank you. Beautiful place, smiley face. Peter, glad you made it safe. I'm upstairs if you need anything." Inside, the house had that faint, sweet smell of old wood and lemon cleaner. It was quiet, too quiet. That night, around 11:30, she was reading on the couch when she heard it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate steps pacing back and forth above her. Old floorboards groaning softly with each movement. She smiled to herself. That must be Peter. Maybe he was a night owl too. But as the hours dragged on, the footsteps never stopped. Back and forth. Heavy, uneven. Sometimes they paused right above her, then continued again, a rhythm that began to crawl under her skin. Around 3 a.m., she sent a polite text. "Rachel, hey, sorry to bother you. Everything okay upstairs? Sound like you're walking a lot, lol. Peter, sorry working late. I'll be quieter." The sound stopped after that, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the reply came too fast, like he'd been waiting. In daylight, the unease seemed silly. She made coffee, took photos for her blog, the kind of aesthetic country getaway post her followers loved. By afternoon, she was laughing at herself. She even texted a friend, "Hello, my Airbnb host is definitely pacing out his life upstairs. Maybe I'll bake him cookies." But when evening came, the quiet returned. And at exactly 11:32 p.m., the footsteps started again. Slower this time. Heavier. A dragging sound between steps. Once, she thought she heard something fall, like a chair tipping over. But when she texted Peter, there was no reply. At 2:17 a.m., she swore she heard whispering, a low murmur through the ceiling. Too muffled to make out. She put on headphones and tried to ignore it. But the last thing she remembered before falling asleep was the creak of floorboards directly above her bed. By the third night, she was exhausted. The same pattern. Footsteps after midnight. Pacing until dawn. This time, she decided to look. She went outside, flashlight in hand, and walked around the house. From the outside, it looked normal. The lights were off upstairs, curtains drawn. But as she circled toward the back, she noticed something strange. There were no upper windows on the back of the house. The roof slanted down where the second floor should have been. Her chest tightened. She walked back to the front and counted the windows again. 2 up top. For below, the house looked like it had a second floor from the front, but not from the side or back. She went inside, searching for the staircase. There wasn't one. Not in the hallway, not near the kitchen, not behind any doors. She texted Peter, "Rachel, hey, weird question. How do I get upstairs? I don't see a staircase." He didn't respond. At 11:34, the footsteps began again. Only this time, they weren't above her. They were in the hallway. She froze in bed, eyes wide open. The footsteps stopped outside her door. The doorknob turned slightly. Then a knock. Soft, rhythmic, 3 times. Her phone buzzed. "Peter, you're not supposed to go upstairs." She didn't reply. Couldn't. After that message, The sound began again, slow, dragging steps moving away. She stayed awake until sunrise. The next morning, she called Airbnb support. She explained everything. The footsteps, the noise, the lack of stairs. The operator paused, then said, "Ma'am, that listing was removed from our platform 3 years ago." Rachel blinked. "What?" "No, I booked it last week." The operator asked for the listing link. When Rachel clicked to copy it, it redirected to an error page. The email confirmation in her inbox was gone. Her hand started to shake. She opened the Airbnb app and searched Maple Creek Guest House. The listing appeared again. Same photos, same description. But the host's name wasn't Peter. It was hers. Host, Rachel D. She slammed her laptop shut. That evening, she packed her things. She didn't care about refunds. She just wanted out. But before she could leave, a storm hit. Torrential rain, wind howling through the chimney. The power went out. The house went black. She sat in the dark, clutching her phone. The battery at 12%. And then, footsteps again. Above her, then in the hall, then behind her. She turned her flashlight toward the sound. Nothing. But when she turned toward the window, lightning flashed, and for a split second, she saw a man standing outside. Pale face, empty eyes, his head tilted in the same rhythm she'd heard in the pacing above. Another flash, and he was gone. Her phone buzzed again. A new message. "Peter, you shouldn't be here." "Peter, they don't like when someone stays too long." "Peter, I haven't owned a house since 2015. Her phone screen flickered, then went black. The police found her car still parked in the driveway. The door was locked from the inside. They assumed she'd walked out during the storm and gotten lost in the woods. But a week later, when the property was listed again, the photos were slightly different. In one of the pictures, the living room shot, if you look closely at the reflection in the mirror above the couch, you could see a woman standing halfway in frame. Her expression blank, her head tilted. The caption under the photo read, "Quiet home. Host lives upstairs. Never disturbs guests."
Thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.